Be quiet. I gotta make a golf the beaten path video, and I'm gonna talk really loud like this so that if there's anything around, they will run away from you. Here it is. What country are we in? New Zealand? What country? Is this New Zealand?
Yeah, we're on a tar hunt.
On a tar hunt. You can tell it's New Zealand by the way that it looks. Big pines, green moss, and a native New Zealander right here.
All right, mate.
This is camp, base camp. Jimmy brought a summer tent and a single quilt to the mountains in October.
I don't know if I'm gonna run a puffy yet. Might be all right.
Look at this.
Hey, like my new gear? Kuya vs. Sitka, bro.
You want to do an intro for our documentary?
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Hey, my name's James Koepsell. I'm an avid hunter. Super serious about this kind of stuff.
You have very pretty matching pants and jacket.
You like my really tight shirt?
Everything about what you're wearing looks tight right now.
Yeah, tends to happen with a physique like mine.
Steroids?
Well,
bleep that out.
Cut that part out.
It's been a long day in the car. We're gonna go sit up on this ridge, binoculars, spotting scope, and just see. We got a large area to look at and just see if we can turn up anything. We just came up over the ridge from the other side on our camp. It's just absolutely insane. Just what an enormous landscape. Hopefully it looks cool in the video. I'm sure you're not getting the full effect because you never do. But I'm gonna go down a little further. That's gonna be our home for the next hour or so until it gets dark. Just scanning the horizon. What do you think? See any bears?
I have not seen a bear. I've seen stumps that get the adrenaline going when you first see it, and then you realize it's just a stump.
You've been looking for like a whole minute.
I know, but I've already had my adrenaline going because I was like, oh.
Got anything you want to say to the people? Give them a little insight on your preparations and your tactics and strategies for hunting Idaho bear?
Just listen to a lot of podcasts. Helps a lot. I know more than Kevin.
Jimmy's a podcast professional.
There are not as many bears as YouTube will let you believe.
That's true. While we're waiting on the bears to come out, I'll give you a little tip about how to read game sign out in the field. Right here you see we got some elk poop. So now we know there's been elk in here. You just grab you a handful of them and then you can kind of see how fresh. Pop one in your mouth. These are old. These are probably at least 3 months old, I'd say. You can try one?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna give you a little gear tip here. This right here is a harness. Goes around my back, holds this pouch right here. Some of y'all seen this before, know what it is. This little lid flips open. It's a real good spot to keep your snacks. You gotta eat lots of snacks when you're on the trail. We got gummy. This is a gummy lobster. It's got dirt on it somehow. So then when you just close back up, then whenever you run out of snacks, then you can also use it as place to put your binoculars, but that's kind of stupid. That's just if you don't have anything else to put in there.
Does it also work as a hand warmer?
Yeah.
I just did that.
I did that this morning. Doubles, triples even as a hand warmer. Put your hands in there.
Or you want to hold a pine cone.
Yeah, if you find anything along the trail you want to keep, stick it in there.
Firewood for the fire.
Jimmy's got one too. I'm gonna carry some firewood back to camp. I'm gonna fill yours up with some of that elk poop.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. I'm gonna give you another hunting tip. When everything's slow, nothing's out moving, well, you can kind of get things stirred up a little bit, make some noise. It seems counterproductive, but it works. I swear it does. I'm gonna throw this rock down that hill, and it's going to crash all the way to the bottom. And if anything's in here, they'll get scared because they heard something and they'll try to move away from it. But really, that'll allow us to see them and go after them. So you're using the animal instincts against itself. That thing's still going. You probably can't hear it in the video. We'll come up here closer. Let's get this big boy in here. Give it like you're bowling. Use the same technique like you use when you're bowling. Now that we stirred things up a little bit with the rocks, we're going to go back to looking through our binoculars, see if something moves, something shook up from the noise, commotion we were making. Most people, you hold your binoculars in your hand up to your head, but if you got really weak arms, you can use a tripod to support them for you. No luck on our first morning glassing session, and I know Jimmy's frustrated because this is a lot of area to look at and we spent a lot of time really picking it apart. But bear hunting, spot and stalk bear hunting is hard. I mean, I don't know anybody that goes out and just tries to do that alone. Usually a lot of states you can buy a bear as an add-on tag if you're hunting elk or deer, and I think a lot of people do that just in case you run across one, or even possibly have a nuisance bear like coming into camp or whatever. But it's tough. I've been out here since 2012 in all kinds of states: Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, Idaho, parts of Montana, and I can't remember ever seeing a bear ever just while I've been out. I mean, they can be pretty elusive. I know a lot of people are worried about them, and this definitely happens plenty where people stumble across them and they're worried about the danger of them, or maybe if bears are getting into food and trash that people aren't securing when they're out in bear country, then that helps. But yeah, most of the people that really target bears specifically are using trained dogs. They have hounds, a pack of hounds that can go through and sniff them out and flush out bears and run them up in a tree, or use a bait site where it's kind of the same principle as bears that come in and get into people's trash at their campsite or whatever. You have a barrel of something that draws those bear to it, and then they get used to coming in. It's kind of like a corn feeder for a lot of deer hunters back east and in the Midwest. They get used to coming in to eat, and then eventually you go sit in a stand and wait for them to come by. Spot and stalk's tough, but we're on our way back up out of the canyon now. It's hard work. I mean, it's from where we stopped down on a point. Jimmy wanted to go down a little bit further. I ranged it for him. It was 1,000 yards. It took him 30 minutes to get down there. 1,000 yards, a mile is 1,760 yards. So that's not very far. It took him 30 minutes to get down there, and probably, I don't know, he's still working his way back up. So it could be potentially close to double that time just to get back uphill.
It's called Heaven's Gate. Or Hell's Gate. Heaven's Gate? Which one?
What do you have to say for yourself, Jimmy?
It's beautiful up here. It would be.
You did some really good planning,
well,
scouting.
We can see really, really far up here.
Google Earth.
We could.
On top of the mountain, do some scouting. There's a whole mountain range. You can see all of it.
A little hard to get to.
Looking for bears.
You see any?
No. Yeah. Dude, get the spotting scope. I think I see one. Jimmy took us up to the cloud. We could see nothing. We got rained on constantly. I don't think it was rain. I think it's just in the cloud. Right?
Yep. Well,
it's just always like that inside of a cloud because they hold moisture. Either way. So we ran down the hill. Jimmy was sad.
It's all about peaks and valleys, literally and metaphorically speaking.
Peaks and valleys.
That was a very deep valley mentally, but it's preparing us for tomorrow, which will be a peak because we're going to see some things.
Yeah. So we're camping on the Salmon River, and an old-timer local just came up and gave us some tips. So
There's hope.
Got a new spot on the map for in the morning. Rain stopped. Clouds are thinning a little bit. Forecast looks pretty good for tomorrow. We're gonna get a bear, and I'm gonna take all the credit for it.
I'm okay with that. As long as we get one. Headed to our final spot. Last day. Looks promising. Very beautiful out here.
Monday. It's Monday, right?
Yep.
It's bear territories. Yesterday was garbage.
Yeah.
Rained on. Clouds. Couldn't see anything. Here we are. We're on the Wind River Pack Bridge, crossing the Salmon River into a wilderness area, off to find the mythical bears that don't exist.
They don't exist. Never seen them.
Why did you bring me this bear hunt? Bear hunting is the same boat as snipe hunting.
This is an intervention. Get you in shape.
I am in shape.
You're in shape.
Why say mean things? Jimmy's making fun of me, trying to act like I'm the one that's not in shape. But he's the one that needs a walking cane. How's your old man stick helping?
These, I believe, are elderberries. They don't taste very good, but very healthy. Good for your immune system. I think they ate them.
So the berries, you're not 100% sure what they are when you're eating them.
They are elderberries.
Okay. All right. Rain yesterday and last night kind of helped us out. We found some tracks, and they're coming up over this bridge. We're almost at the top. We waited for some clouds to come over. The sun's out, and there's a ton of fog that we're trying to wait for it to burn off, because otherwise we won't see anything. Yeah, so we're just hanging out here looking at what we can see, and then wait for once the fog's gone, we'll follow the tracks up and over this hill and hopefully have a new area to potentially spot something. We've been out here checking out this big, where two canyons kind of come together, lots of area we can see, but no movement. Did find some bear tracks, but haven't been able to turn any up. So like we learned before, it's time to shake things up a little bit. This is a lot bigger area than before, so we got to go a little bigger. I've loosened up this nice chunk of granite right here. I've looked down, make sure it's going to be safe, and we're gonna roll this bad boy down the hill, loosen things up a little bit. Well, Jimmy, why don't you do the honors?
Oh, see why you made me do it.
You need some help?
Nope.
Two-person? It's a big one.
You said you loosened it up.
I did.
Oh boy.
We might here. Let me get on one side.
Hold on. Ooh, now it's on my boot. Ah. Ready?
Here we go.
Oh, now it's got some momentum.
Don't walk, I can't hear it. Still going. Still going.
That sounds so destructive when it's hitting trees.
How much do you think that weighed? Like 400 pounds?
I'd say about maybe 3.
Here's another fun tip for you when you're out hunting or just out hiking in the mountains. You always want to keep your eye out for shed antlers. So every year, deer and elk shed their antlers, and you can find them on the ground when you're out walking around. So like a little wilderness scavenger hunt, nature's little scavenger hunt. Oh man, look at this guy. Look at this one. Holy cow. Oh. That must be from a big bull elk. Man. Help me get this one on my pack. All right. Yeah, when you find a good keeper like this one, you can strap it on your pack, carry it home with you. All right, let's go. Tell them how you feel.
Oh, I'm ready to get in a hotel.
Weakness.
He's in denial. He's got an ego issue where he has to be as mountain man and tough as possible. I'm just being honest. He's not.
That's true. I like video because I can cut all this to suit me. I just pulled up in the driveway back home. Got one final tip for you about bear hunting in Idaho. Just don't do it. There's no bears there. The only bear we saw was the Smokey the Bear fire danger sign. Could have tagged him, brought him home, I guess. But in all seriousness, it's a good time. Hunting is hard, and it doesn't make much difference to me. I didn't have any tags. I was just out to have a good time, but sorry, Jimmy. Better luck next time. Maybe listen to a few more podcasts and spend a few more dozen hours on Google Earth, and we'll get them next time. But we're going to use a bait site.